Welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the third day of the Singapore Fintech Festival. Joining me for this segment, we have Changpeng Zhao. He's the CEO of Binance. We're going to take a look at financial inclusion and the blockchain. Is blockchain the missing piece to financial inclusion? CZ, it's so great to have you with us. And before we get into all of that, blockchain and the crypto application in finance and inclusion, tell us more about that.
Sure. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
I think blockchain is just a new technology that humans have had for the first time, that now we're able to establish trust without relying on a third party. So having this have very profound implications on how we do everything we do, pretty much. So the first application is really financial applications. So now we're able to service many of the unbanked, or what we call unfinancially serviced areas in the world. So this has very far-reaching implications.
All right, let's talk about China's strategy in blockchain technology development as well as cryptocurrency market trends. President Xi just announced very unexpectedly that this is something that he would like the country to pursue.
Yeah. So China's announcement came also as a surprise to me, to be honest, Mr. Xi Jinping's announcement. But China has historically been very pro-technology. So I think the Chinese leaders understand that they need to be the leaders in technology to be the leaders in the future world. And they recognize blockchain as this technology that's not going away. It's going to be very super mainstream. It's going to have more impact than the internet. Well, in China, what people are calling that the next half of internet. So the country is embracing this very strongly. So now, after Xi Jinping's talk, every institution, every company, many different government entities are looking at blockchain now. So it's very hot.
And it's not just for finance, because blockchain technology can be applied to anything that has a start line and a finish line, and all the distribution and logistics in between, from healthcare to industry to food tracking.
Yeah.
So I think the technology certainly is important for the country and for everyone to embrace. Let's talk about Libra.
Yeah.
The potential challenges with Libra over the current financial system that's really dominated by central banks and institutions. It seems as if there's almost a tug of war in terms of who would have control.
Yeah.
Do you think that's where the challenge is?
I think, basically from the information I gathered, I think, yes, that is where the challenge is. Facebook is a typical example of a technology company grown up with the internet, and it's got so much bigger than any nation, to be honest. So they have more users than any nation. And now they're very smart. They understand blockchain. They want to move to this blockchain space, and they're issuing Libra. I think a lot of the U.S. people some of the, I guess, government or senator people are afraid that the Libra is going to impact the dominance of U.S. dollars, but I think it's the reverse. I think the stronger the Libra is, the stronger the U.S. dominance is, because the Libra is going to be more heavily based on U.S. dollars.
Right.
Whereas what the Chinese guys are more worried about Libra, correctly, because if the Libra gets really popular, that's actually not good for RMB dominance.
So let me ask you question. Libra is different than Bitcoin, for example, because Libra is a stable coin, and it's backed by fiat, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency is based on the value that supply and demand assigns to it, right? So in theory, Libra, if you don't have access to cash or the US dollar and you just want to transact digitally, that would be attractive, rather than have to go to the bank, or if you want to do transfers from me to you without a central bank or intermediary.
Yeah. So I think Libra, it is based on the current design is based on fiat deposits, so it's pegged to fiat values. So you'll be pegged to US dollar plus a few other currencies potentially. So that achieves a stable value in terms of the pegging to current fiat currency systems. But it does live on a blockchain. So which means that it can be transacted through just software on a mobile phone, or even a feature phone, or even on a piece of paper. I can write down the private key and give a piece of paper to you. So that kind of transferring mechanism makes it much easier, or at least provides an alternative that we don't have to rely on banks, for example. For example, in Africa, only 11% of people have bank accounts. So now that's a good place to use it. Even in developed financial economies, if you want to transfer large amounts of money, then sometimes you get stuck. If you want to transfer a very minute amount of money, let's say you want to transfer 0.1 penny, sometimes you get stuck. Well, we can't do it right now.
Right.
So there are use cases, there are potential use cases for those type of transfers.
Do you think it's just because the Facebook name is attached to Libra and that's where the challenge lies?
From my personal reading, yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I looked at a few segments of the congressional hearing, and they're all asking about Facebook, not so much about Libra.
Exactly.
So I think Libra itself, if it's fully pegged, stable coins are very simple businesses. You just got to make sure there's enough money in the bank. You say the reserve 100% there, and then you issue the coin so that no one gets hurt. So the business model is very, very simple. So there's really not that much. It's just I do believe it's that Facebook's too big and Facebook's too impactful. This thing is going to impact 2.7 billion, potentially 2.7 billion users.
Right.
So yeah, everybody's looking at it.
But the theory of stable coins, in my mind, is here to stay.
Yes, I think stablecoins will stay. Stablecoins serve as a very interesting bridge, a middle ground between fiat and pure crypto. Before we were just always thinking about just from fiat directly to crypto, but now having the intermediary stablecoin is actually really, really good too. So it's value that's tied to fiat, but you can transfer on blockchain. It serves as a very nice bridge, actually.
All right, Susie, thanks so much for joining us at the FinTech Festival.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you so much for joining us on Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.